Good afternoon. I'm Anusha Roy. We are starting the noon with breaking news. I-70 in both directions near Morrison. It is still closed because of a deadly crash that resulted in both a tanker and a car that fully was engulfed in flames. The Jeffco Sheriff's Office says one person is dead and the truck driver was taken to the hospital. Colorado State Patrol says that a car slammed into the back of that tanker. Firefighters had to put out fires that started on the side of the interstate. Those are out now. That crash had happened just west of Red Rocks and Morrison exit and just south of Lookout Mountain. Crews are still asking people to divert out of the area. Jeffco Sheriff is recommending that drivers take Highway 285, 6th or Highway 40 if you are headed into the mountains. We're also told that to plan on this area being impacted throughout the majority of the day and into the evening. We want to give you a live look at the scene right now from Sky 9. It's been over this scene for several hours at this point. Crews are definitely still cleaning up the area. There is a hazmat response as well. We are told that traffic is moving on Highway 40 on the side of the interstate. That you can see it's still definitely a crawl, and that the rest of I-70 is completely shut down. Again, this is near Morrison because of that fatal crash. We have team coverage with Brianna Clark and Jaleesa Irizarry. We're going to start with Jaleesa. Jaleesa, can you break down exactly what your vantage point is and what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, we are off exit 256 on the I-70 westbound side, and this is as close to the crash we can get. It's still a few miles away, but behind me is I-70 eastbound, and they are diverting traffic off of this exit, and they are turning them over to 40 east. Now take a look at some viewer video we received of a person that witnessed this crash. Here's what we know so far. The crash happened around 9:40 this morning. Colorado State Patrol says a westbound semi overheated and parked on the right shoulder. A driver slammed into the back of a tanker, causing a fire that engulfed both the tanker and the car. It's not clear at this point why the driver crashed. Colorado State Patrol has confirmed at least one person has died. CSP says fuel spilled into a culvert and across eastbound lanes. That culvert needs to be inspected for damage from the fire. We spoke to a man that witnessed this incident, and about an hour later, he says he was still shaken up about it. This is what he had to say.
I was passing the tanker when it was a white SUV hit the back. He's parked on the shoulder. So the SUV hit him on a rear end and it exploded. So I was on the frontage road. I pulled over and that to get out of the way, and then I started that video. So you can see the driver got out of the truck and walked to the front. But I heard a couple of explosions. I think those were other cars that were behind the tanker. But you can barely see them because the fuel was just pouring out of that truck onto the cars that crashed behind them.
Again, we are off exit 256. This is I-70 eastbound traffic you are seeing right now. That is being diverted off of this highway heading to 40 east. If you are in this area or planning to drive around this area, please try to avoid it so that this traffic can make its way through. For now, reporting in Jefferson County, Jaleesa Irizarry, 9 News.
Gosh, Jaleesa, just like you, have been looking at some of those viewer video and it's jaw-dropping, and I can imagine that it was just so scary for anyone who saw that happening in front of them.
Absolutely a heartbreaking situation, right? No one wants to see what that individual saw, and you can hear it in his voice. He was absolutely heartbroken over the situation and is, of course, thinking of those involved.
All right, well, really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Jaleesa. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. Want to give you another live look at that backup right now from the CDOT cameras, just a different vantage point from what you just saw from Jaleesa's live shot as well, where traffic is completely crawling in that area. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is saying to expect delays and impacts for hours. We're talking into the evenings. We're also keeping tabs on impacts on graduation ceremonies and things like that in and around the Morrison area. We're going to be getting to that in just a minute, but first we want to get to 9 News reporter Brianna Clark. She is near she's near Golden at the Dinosaur Park and Ride lots. And Brianna, it sounds like you've had a chance to talk to some people who were impacted by the closure.
Yeah, we talked to several people, and before I get to that, I kind of want to show you a lot has changed here in just the last hour. You can see there's no traffic right here on I-70. That's because all the vehicles that were stopped here have now gotten off the exit. They've either done a U-turn or they're taking one of the back roads. Way off into the distance, you can see officers still with traffic guiding those drivers off of the interstate and onto those back roads. And now, if you take a look down at I-70, the crews here, some of the road crews, they're actually removing the cones because the police are back down at another exit, so they're able to remove the cones here. We've talked to quite a few people. One group of women, they were heading to Silverthorne, hoping to have a mom's day out, just them, and they got stuck in this traffic. Jessica Crothers, she's from Westminster, she tells me a drive that would typically take her 30 minutes took her an hour and a half. And the plan was to caravan, and then at one point the group got separated.
Who actually, while we were on the freeway, we were right next to each other. So and I've been here now for about 25 minutes. So I don't know, I picked the right lane, I guess, to get off.
All right, so US 40 is, or rather Highway 40 is a route that a lot of folks are taking. We can kind of see it here from the distance. Traffic is moving, but it is going very, very slow. Those women that we spoke to, they say they're just gonna camp out here for the day, have a women's day out in Golden. Reporting live, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
Well, glad that people were able to get out of that area, Brianna. Thanks so much for sharing that vantage point. We really appreciate it. This extended closure could have significant impacts all day, including on some graduation ceremonies happening at Red Rocks. Columbine's graduation is scheduled for 2 o'clock, Dakota Ridge at 7. Jeffco School says it's trying to figure out if it will have any impacts on graduations. We will keep you posted as well. We will have continuing coverage of this crash and the impacts all day. We have seen previously with these kind of situations, the cleanup will take hours at this point. So please keep that in mind. If you need to be in that area, just make sure you're finding another way around. We're going to have much more coming up on 9 News at 4 and 5 o'clock. Of course, we'll be posting updates on the 9 News app as well. The man accused of killing 4 people before fleeing to Mexico has now been found guilty for killing 4 people at an Aurora home in 2022. Joseph Castorena is likely to spend the rest of his life in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for September. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch was in the courtroom in Arapahoe County when they read that verdict. Janelle, what did you see and what did you hear?
Saw a lot of emotion from both sides of the victim's family as well as the Castorenas as the judge read out those guilty verdicts. In addition to being guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder, the jury also found Castorena guilty of 1 count of criminal attempt to murder. Prosecutors say in October 2022, Castorena's ex, the mother of his children, was trying to leave him. He came to a house in Aurora to kill members of her family. He attempted to kill his ex, but she was uninjured and able to run away. He was just found guilty of killing a man on the property, his ex-partner's father, her sister's partner, and her twin sister.
Murder in the first degree after deliberation, Maria Serrano. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond reasonable doubt, find the defendant, Joseph Castorena, guilty of murder in the first degree.
And just like said, sentencing is set to begin September 3rd. Live from the Arapahoe County Courthouse, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
You stepping away from court for that update. Thank you, Janelle. Also happening today, the man accused of shooting and killing a volunteer firefighter on I-70 has testified in his own defense. Police say Jeremy Roca shot and killed John Jaros on I-70 near Tower Road in June of 2022. He was driving to go camping with his wife and 3 kids. Roca just wrapped up that testimony. He said he acted in self-defense and that Jaros chased him. We will update you with what he said later today on 9 News. Want to take some time to give you a live look outside right now. This is a live look at Horsetooth Reservoir. It is a stunning, beautiful day to get outside, maybe soak up some of that sunshine. It's actually a day you might need some sunscreen, okay?
Absolutely.
Haven't said that in a bit. We've got Keely here with us. And it's going to be lasting through the weekend, which I feel like we have not said in a very long time.
Get that sunscreen out and keep it out because temperatures are going to be in the 70s and 80s as we head toward the weekend. Lots of sunshine out there. Just a few showers or storms in the forecast for the weekend. Let's go ahead and take you outside right now. 69 degrees out at DIA right now. The wind's out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. So the wind's certainly not an issue today. Humidity, 25%. Temperatures mainly in the 60s 60s and 70s across the eastern plains. A little bit cooler in Colorado Springs, 58 degrees right now. We're looking at 50s and 60s up there in the mountains. Here's a look at our HD Doppler radar. So we do have some storm activity to the south of us in New Mexico. It is rotating some moisture into our area. We are seeing some thunderstorms fire up across the southern foothills as well as the southern mountains. Colorado Springs seeing some activity right now. Again, we will continue to see this trend as we head into the afternoon, with a chance we could see a shower just south of the metro area as well. Your forecast for today, mostly sunny, 75 degrees tonight, mostly clear, 49 degrees. Tomorrow, even warmer, lots of sunshine, 83. We do have a cool down and some showers in your extended forecast. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks so much for that, Keely. In just the last few minutes, Parker police released this sketch of a suspect involved in an attempted abduction of a student walking to school last week. Police believe the suspect is around 50 years old. They say he was driving a black Audi four-door car with Colorado plates and dark tinted windows. That abduction happened last Wednesday. It was near Bay Oaks Avenue, about a 10-minute walk from Frontier Valley Elementary School. Officers say a boy was walking to school when the suspect approached him. The boy was not hurt and then reported what happened to school staff. If you know of anything that has to do with this situation, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers.